And I've often heard, like, if you want to make something stand the test of time, if you want to be evergreen, put people in suits, because you put a man in a suit, black and white, you don't know what generation they came from.
That's an excellent point. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. When I would draw crowd scenes in a city in the background, people
Hmm.
walking to and fro, and then of course the main characters in the foreground. But sometimes you just want a background
Yeah.
shot. I would
Right.
always prefer that. Let's do business
Yeah.
suits and
Right.
dresses and so on, because again, it doesn't overly date the piece. I thought
Right.
this is another film thing, but it's worth mentioning because you brought this up. The 1989 Tim Burton Batman, I thought, did an excellent
Mm.
job, as did the animated series through the 90s,
Yeah.
of really doing sort of a surreal, fictional historical period rather than trying to nail it to either contemporary, as the latter movies did, or a fixed historical period. They did sort of a fictionalized, surreal Gotham, and it worked tremendously
Yeah.
well to make the film, and mostly the animated series, feels timeless to me because of the design.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Burton did a lot of great stuff in the 90s. What else? What else did he do?
well, I mean, he did Batman
Like, that was
Returns.
like his heyday. Batman
Yeah,
Returns.
right. He did.
There was a lot of Batman at once in that time period.
Yeah, yeah. They tried to do a lot of Batman, and it got a little over the top and a little
Of
too
course.
weird. And
Yeah.
then we come full circle to Chris Nolan, who really took it almost to
Yeah.
clinical reality, which
Yes.
arguably
Yes.
did two things. It took some of the fun and fantasy out of it, but it did give it
Mhm.
the weight of a realistic
Yeah.
script. I mean, arguably, The Dark Knight is a legendary film.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Clinical is the word for it.
Yeah,
Like, how can
absolutely.
we make this believable, real?
Right.
Yeah.
I,
Love it.
I prefer a little more statues and fins on the cars myself. I prefer the
Yeah.
aesthetic of the animated series, but I
Right.
respect just the entire amount of hard work it took to bring Batman into the real world and make it work.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Do you think that bringing the Joker into it as much helped or hurt the series?
I think
Because to me,
that
it seems like they tried to make an anti-hero out of him.
I think they did. I think I try to look at the Nolan films as their own unique, auteur, singular vision.
Hmm. Okay.
And within that world, the Joker was a scary character that was almost more of the Zodiac killer, almost more anarchy than the Joker.
Sure.
The Joker to me was
Yeah.
closer to the character in the animated series, voiced by Mark
Okay.
Hamill.
Okay.
To me, that's more the
Right.
Joker. Um, and then a comic world, uh, Alan Moore, Brian Boland's Killing Joke, that
Hmm.
horrific Joker made him just really scary. Um,
Yeah.
but
If you could voice one character from the animated series, who would you voice?
uh, I would voice Ra's al Ghul.
Ooh, good one.
I like, I would love to do that sort of Eastern European
Yeah.
nobility. It's almost a Dracula
Yep.
character in a way, but I
Right.
love that
Right.
mysterious nature. In the comic, I mean, in the Marvel universe, I'd always want to voice Victor Von Doom for the same reason.
Oh
I
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
always
Same.
liked the mystery of the royal noble villains that don't really see themselves as villains. They see themselves as
Yep.
accomplishing their goals, and it's just too bad that people got in the way.
Mhm.
It's just, wow, they're just cruel and ruthless. And that's what makes them bad
Yep.
guys. They are bad guys, but there's something mysterious and cool about somebody like, for example, Doom, who to me is the inspiration for Vader. And so while you admit he's a bad guy, you also admire the fact that he's simultaneously mastered magic, sorcery, and technology.
Yep.
There's something just impressive
Yeah.
that he can go toe to toe with Reed Richards and
Yeah.
get away every time. They take him out and it's a Doombot. It's another Doombot, right?
A
So
Doombot.
so all that was really cool to me as as a young man, and then in adulthood too. I was like, I always admired that Doom always got away, and that Doom always spoke in the third person, which cracked me up. Any character that can get away with saying Doom is pleased, to me that's just hilarious. I love that.
The royal we, yes.
The royal we, and just as cheesy as the armor is in a lot of ways, there's something really classic about the archetypical sort of Black Knight idea of Doom, and Vader, and for Ra's al Ghul, I think even though Nolan's take was more clinical, Liam Neeson's portrayal of Ra's al Ghul in the movies.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
I mean, just that was,
he was made for that role.
Oh, right. I mean, especially after what he played in Star Wars, to go there and play like a Black Knight. How cool is that?
Yeah, so nice.
So very, very, very
beautifully done.
Oh yeah,
cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Love it. Okay. So I have a massive list of questions.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
I can pull them out of the hat. Gosh, there's so many. What are the last 5 movies and or TV shows you've watched? And would you recommend them?
Okay. Ahsoka, Wheel of Time, Loki, The Exorcist, Believer, the original Exorcist. Gosh, what can I tell you, man? The Pope's Exorcist, that was cool. I can recommend parts of Ahsoka. I thought Filoni really did a good job visually of carrying on the Rebels universe, but a little bit too derivative for me, and a little bit too much focus just on female characters. I mean, the guys want some male characters in there to root for as well. With Exorcist Believer, I thought good try, but again, I think the original holds up better because they did their research, and this just felt a little bit too ecumenical. I wanted them to keep it, kind of focused on the Roman ritual.
Classic, clean.
Classic, keep it classic. What else? Let's see. Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time is an odd license to me because the very essence of Wheel of Time is that all of the fantasy writings of the world are all blended together and based on an ancient mythology that maybe it was real, maybe it wasn't, and everything is revolving in a constant reinvention of itself. So the feeling of it being derivative is not really a negative because it's intentional. So I give it that. Compelling characters. They can be a little bit too matriarchal, for my taste. Loki was fun, although I think Loki suffers from what I call the time machine problem. I get a little fatigued with time travel,
which I think is built into the show.
I think so too.
Because the whole time, TVA time variance.
Sure. And it's fine. I get it. It's fun. It's entertaining. A little meticulous. A a little bit annoying to me because time travel has been
Mhm.
done so many times, and
Oh yeah,
not well
yeah.
every time it's done.
The
Uh,
original retcon.
yeah, it can be a crutch. And
Yes.
Star Trek, I think it became.
Oh, it's just a next generation.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
again, man, come on. First Contact, another recent viewing that I love. Absolutely
Hmm.
love. One of the best next gen films ever made. Probably the
Yes.
best, in my opinion. Great soundtrack too. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to
Yes.
bring up
Oh my
just very
gosh.
quickly. Um,
Yeah.
for artists who need inspiration musically, find a
Hmm.
soundtrack to one of your favorite films that maybe reflects the genre you're drawing in. It can do
Oh
wonders
yeah.
for the focus
Yes.
and the
And I
ability
and I
to,
can't back that enough.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I
So
I,
if
I
I'm
mean, when I write, I will put on a soundtrack. If I'm
oh,
writing something in from the 30s, I will put on a 30s soundtrack.
oh yeah, like
If
an Indiana Jones soundtrack, for example, right?
right.
Especially an early
Exactly.
one.
Yep.
Raiders is a great one. But for
Perfect.
example, if I'm drawing something like recently, I've been drawing and characters that are Revolutionary War inspired. I'll listen to the
Hmm.
Patriot soundtrack, which is excellent.
Oh, so good. Oh my
It's
gosh.
so good, right?
Yes.
Um, but
Yeah, I'll put that on the background when I'm writing Steam Patriots.
well,
It's so good.
if I was drawing fantasy, for example, in this Light Raiders universe, I'll listen
Yep.
to Lord of the Rings trilogy, right?
Oh, so
Beautiful
good.
music, right? Especially Fellowship of the Ring, my personal favorite
Yeah.
of all of them.
Yes.
But yeah, highly recommend related soundtracks. If you want some inspiration to help you focus and just zone in on your material, um,
Yep.
definitely soundtracks. So,
Yeah. Don't stray away from the soundtracks. They can put you right in the mood.
oh, absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
and there's a reason. There's a reason that there used to be full orchestras for one movie.
Oh, yeah.
If it's Jurassic Park, if it's Lord of the Rings, they'll put you in the mood.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What else you got? What other questions? Throw them at me.
Oh, all right. So I'm gonna give you one final question.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. When was the last time you walked in the woods?
That is a really great question. The last time I walked in the woods was Thanksgiving of 2022. And
Ooh.
we were on a trip to Colorado and walking in the Colorado forests, right around Denver. Uh,
Ooh, beautiful.
Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, specifically Estes Park, which is a little bit different. But
Hmm.
um, we stayed in the hotel that inspired King's writing of The Shining. And
Oh yeah.
we
Okay.
walked in some woods that were not too far away. And I just want to tell you, there's something so great about a walk in the woods, but especially the Colorado woods, man.
Yeah.
Mountains, wilderness, evergreens, beautiful.
Right.
Highly recommended.
Yeah.
You know,
Something bigger than ourselves that can ground us to
absolutely.
creativity. To it. I feel like walking in the woods. I was walking around yesterday and today, just cutting down a tree, and I can't
You,
tell you how many times I had to stop and write down a thought I had
that's awesome.
about it. It's just it's
So
beautiful.
that's your place of inspiration. Woods, walking in
Yes,
the woods.
absolutely. Yep.
That's awesome.
There was a quote. Yeah, there was a quote. I don't know where I got it from, but it was, "We can go to the sea, we can go to the woods, we can go to the mountains, and we enter into the what is it? The the trial, not trials of life. The You enter into the food chain. That's what it is. You go
Oh,
to all these places, you enter into the food chain, and you're not always on top."
oh, that's a great observation. In
Yeah.
fact,
So I always keep that in mind.
that yes, and that'll bring me to close this way.
Yeah.
I really like to cover my view of art, music, and all entertainment really through the filter of the pursuit of what is good and true and beautiful, right? Which is
Yes.
Plato and Aristotle, right? Looking
Yep.
for
Yep.
the cosmic values of truth, goodness, and beauty. And
Yes. Absolutely.
I think that grounding yourself with those filters help tremendously. Sorry about the phone
Yes.
there,
Yeah.
but that helps just tremendously to give
Absolutely.
you a perspective on what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what your interaction with the greater part of the universe that is greater than you, what that means.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've heard it as museums cost money, churches don't. What's the cost of beauty? You know, where do the poor go to find truth
Yeah.
and beauty?
Yeah.
But the churches.
That's a wonderful way to
So I
put
think
it.
that's
Excellent way, brother. Listen, I've enjoyed this
beautiful.
tremendously, my friend.
I love it. I
I
love it so
appreciate
much.
you asking
Can't
me
wait.
to do the interview. Thank
You,
you so
you
much.
oh gosh, we wouldn't have it any other way. I love it so much.